Vivian belonged to a family of Volcari, known as the Nighthood, a rare and seclusive house of the Volcari that had been culled to the brink of extinction. Although Vivian had been a proud member of the Knighthood, she was not of Volcari blood nor a true blood member of her house. She was adopted into the royal family after losing her parents to the war with the Kai. She was only 3 years old when she lost her parents, so she had no recollection of her heritage or where she came from. The only thing that she knew was that she belonged to the Knighthood and grew proud of that as she got older. No, Vivian was not born as a Volcari, much to her displeasure, but a Dovian, a Varian of the Volcari, whom contrast in both nature and in physical looks. Despite her not being of true Volcari blood, Vivian still loved her family and held pride for the house she was welcomed into. But Vivian wasn't always so grateful. One of her 4 siblings, that being her older brother Arcus, never got along with her, and she never understood why. She adored her older brother, but never once had the adoration returned to her. Instead, she was met with animosity and hostility from the young Volcari prince who wanted nothing to do with her, but she wanted everything to do with him. She would try her best to win the eye and love of Arcus, whereas with her sisters she was mighty haughty and commanding over them, especially Amina, the 3rd oldest. She felt that she had to be that way with her sisters in order to keep them in line and be a good older sister to them. She had never realized that her actions were the very thing that made Arcus hate her. She was never mean nor rude with Arcus. Unlike her sisters, Arcus was the target of her aspirations. He was the one she wanted to impress. He was the one she wanted to love and have him love her in return. She was owed that much. Why was he the only one who couldn't love her like everyone else? Why did he hate her? This not only frustrated Vivian for years and well into her adult life, the haunting question of why. Was there something wrong with her, she thought? Day in and day out, Vivian would work hard at getting Arcus to like her to no avail. She was beginning to lose hope of ever being on his good side, but that's when something or someone dark and sinister came along. A great evil was welcomed into their home. He had proclaimed to be an uncle of the family and brother to her father, which made him as not only a knighthood, but a Volcari as well. Vivian, age 5 at the time of her uncle's arrival, was scorned. Here was this stranger out of the blue claiming to be a member of her family when she herself had to work so hard at it? Nonsense. Vivian was not at all pleased with the sudden presence of her uncle. She wasn't sure what it was about the broad-shouldered Volcari that made the little girl uneasy, but it was there and she could feel it. She knew that Arcus most likely felt the same from the stranger as she'd watch him interact with the Min. She was always watching him. Regardless of the precedent danger she felt, Vivian would think nothing more of it and would continue to be the adorable little girl her family adored. This happy painted picture of a good family would take on a far more nefarious sight, colouring the once vibrant colours of the knighthood canvas with black inkiness that would further sully the namesake of the Volcari. One morning, Vivian woke up to the voice of her uncle and not to the voice of her father. Something was wrong, but Vivian didn't know what. When she asked her uncle about her parents, something within the small white-haired girl turned cold. She would swallow back those feelings, however, and carried on. Even at such a young age, Vivian knew that something had happened and her uncle was the cause of it. Her suspicions of the Min grew stronger the longer he remained. She knew she couldn't trust him, nor his red eyes that regarded her with monstrous intent, something Vivian wouldn't understand until she was older, reflecting back on her memories with the house. The house she loved, the house Mordecai destroyed. During her time with her uncle, Vivian would slowly begin to forget the icky feeling she once held for her uncle and started to believe him, that he was indeed there for her and her family's well-being. She would believe this because she would see the efforts with her own blue eyes, so she thought. Her uncle, scary as he was, seemed to also be kind and caring. She'd see this in her uncle whenever he would be busy with her brother, either with combat training or academic lessons they all had to go through. She thought that she saw a Min that was almost like her father, someone she could feel safe with again. She would take to this and threw away all suspicion she once held for her, a strange uncle. Things were beginning to feel normal for Vivian when one day she would wake up to find her brother missing. Panicked, Vivian thought the worst, that he was gone forever. Just like with her biological parents and the Nighthood, so too was Arcus gone. She was alone in that house, with no one there but her sisters and the nanny. Vivian was heartbroken. She no longer felt that she had a family despite her having 3 other sisters. The ones that meant the most to her were either gone or dead. One. Vivian didn't know what to do, so she'd hole herself in her room and never came out, not even to see her sisters. While in her room she paced and she paced and she thought, where could Arcus have gone to, and why didn't he tell her anything? Infuriated, Vivian was spurred to make herself move. She would start coming out of her room and back with her sisters, who were very happy to see her. Her, along with the nanny left behind by her uncle, would continue to maintain the House of Nighthood long after the owners were gone. She would do it all, clean, cook, and take care of her sisters. Together, the 4 of them would grow into young adult females whose profession lay in that of servitude. She, along with her sister, were the first of their kind to be called housemaids.